Devotional as we continue our series Anthem. And the irony is that we're recording for the dry season, and this is the only day that it's decided to rain outside. But I'm really glad to have you guys tuning in today as I share kind of a little bit of a deeper thought in relation to what I shared about the dry season. See, it's cool because I was talking to somebody just the week before and really had no intention of the conversation going this direction, but we were discussing how there's times in life where we can kind of feel stuck, feel trapped, and like we're going through the motions, but there's just no vitality. There's no life behind what we're doing. There's no energy. And we were discussing about, is that something that God intends, and how do we meet and feel and experience God in those seasons? You know, we looked at some of the biblical heroes, and Joseph came up, and you know, the observation was, well, did Joseph really feel this way? I mean, obviously he didn't like being sold into slavery. Obviously, he didn't enjoy being put into prison, but what would his response have been? And we look at the story and we see that he responded so well. And there's kind of this fallacy in our thought that as we look at those biblical heroes and we see how they responded to the dry seasons in their lives where they felt apart or distant from God, that they didn't struggle day to day with their convictions, that they didn't question what God might have been doing, or maybe that they didn't feel a lot of the feelings that we might feel today, feelings like being anxious or being worried or feeling exhausted or tired. We might have this romantic idea that they just pushed through whatever it was that God had allowed them to face. And I cannot imagine that that would be further from the truth. I imagine that Joseph struggled. I imagine that he probably shared sentiments very similar to what we do see in the Psalms as we hear the authors talk about the agony and the pain of being distant from God, being disconnected from God, of wanting to know, what are you doing in my life, God? Where is this going? What do I need to do so that I don't feel this way? And I imagine Joseph probably wrestled with that often. See, this is kind of like Facebook, right? We're getting the highlight reel of what's happening in everybody's life, and of course it looks amazing, but that doesn't show you, the day-to-day changing those dirty diapers, or taking the trash out, or having to pick up 1,000 toys. What you see are really perfect little kids that just do everything, in the photos, and it looks like the perfect life. But that's not reality, and that's not true for Joseph in that story as well. See, we got the highlight reel, how he overcame, how God helped him to succeed through the trial, through his dry season. We don't get all the story of the struggle. And it's also, we can see this in Hebrews. It really is, we look at that hall of faith, those kind of heroes of the faith. Half of them never did get to see the promise fulfilled, the promise that God had given them come to reality in their lifetime. They endured through those seasons without realizing the promise God had made to them. And I'm sure some of them struggled. I'm certain that they questioned. I am certain that they felt disconnected. But they endured. And they endured, and God worked incredibly through them and their descendants. The ripple effect from their life made a huge difference, made an eternal impact. And that's what I want to leave you with. If you're questioning the impact that your life is having, just be confident that God is going to work it out for a purpose that will glorify Him, if that's truly your heart's desire. But don't get so hung up on struggling as you wait to see God move in your life. And that's what I want you to focus on this week, is God is really gracious, so give yourself a little grace and just really set your sights on God, and He'll take care of the rest.